For the Arizona Cardinals as they are trailing now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, it was like the Alabama and Auburn finish. I mean, it seems like that's inevitable that's going to happen on those big time kicks, 68 yards from Matt Prater. Let's get into it. It's a Locked On Cardinals halftime show. It's Bo and it's Alex.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Just witnessed a kick six, and we witnessed the Arizona Cardinals high-powered offense put up 7 points in the first half against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense that is not that good. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it was one of those, it was a real subdued, odd first half of the Arizona Cardinals. I think that the defense played well, but you can't be happy with where you are right now. Alex Clancy, Bo Brock. Alex, I mean, I know I see you on Twitter at Clancy's Corner going after the play calling right now in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious that Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know what he's doing. It showed, like today, this game specifically. The first drive, the first half, they come down and score another great play call on a play action bootleg, Kyler Murray skipping his way into the end zone. And it's like they take the rest of the half off offensively, and they just rely on the defense to get 3 and outs or get, tipped interceptions. Like, this is an NFL team you're playing against. I have no idea. I equated it to the Waterboys head coach who was scared of the opposing coach because he stole his playbook. Just like, what are we looking at here? It's like, it's like he's having PTSD, going back to college, looking at Urban Meyer like, oh, I need to do stuff to impress this guy. Just throw the ball to your best players and go win a football game.
Yeah, they have an opportunity, obviously, coming out of the halftime. They're going to get the ball, and the offense needs to come down and score. There's no way around it. It's an odd game. Kyler Murray's 12 for 14. He's efficient, but he's not really throwing the ball downfield. They're not looking for big plays. The real one big play that they had was the DeAndre Hopkins that was wiped out due to the basically a pick call on that. They've got to be able to start making plays downfield. This has been brutal for the Arizona Cardinals offense. It's like quietly brutal. Like, I'm not sitting there and like pulling my hair out about their inefficiency because they're making plays, but they're not. And then the defense is holding serve outside of the score at the end of the half, which was a nice pitch catch from Trevor Lawrence to DJ Shark.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's like going to get frozen yogurt but not get any toppings. It's like, what are we doing here? It's like, and listen, really quick. If you blame the referees, that's a defeatist attitude. That's a defeatist thought process. Sure, that pick play was probably not a pick play. It was within 2 yards. You can thank Tom Brady and Julian Edelman for that, because now refs are going to call that every single time somebody gets sprung for a touchdown. The Cardinals need to figure out an offensive game plan, because they don't have one, and go and win a football game. Because you're right, it's like, their drives aren't 3 and outs, but they're not also exciting. There are a couple bright spots. James Conner looks healthy, and he looks like he can be a viable option on this offense. So I don't know if they're going to try to set up the run or set up the screen pass in an effort to get the ball downfield, but all of the downfield action that happened last week is completely null and void. It's completely null and void. This is like a week 1 preseason game that we're watching. And Jacksonville, again, is an NFL team that if they hang around, they're going to score points. Like, that was a great ball. I think, did you tweet it out? Well, that was a great ball by Trevor Lawrence at the back of the end zone. Like,
yeah, the problem though with Lawrence right now is they're giving him opportunity to develop and evolve as a quarterback. This can't be the game that you let him do that. He's been bad in the first 2 games of his career. He was bad early on. It was a good pick from Byron Murphy to keep that going, but you got to continue to just terrorize him. You got to turn up the heat a little bit as far as getting pressure on the young quarterback. 12 of 17, 117. After that pick, he settled in, and I think it's because they kind of took their foot off the gas. But you're right. I mean, this half is on the offense right now. This half of football is on the offense and its inability to put points on the board against the bad defense. This is the first week of the 2021 season where Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to make the adjustments that we're looking to see if he can make to take that step as a head coach. And so far, it's not there. He's going to have to figure it out in the second half. Look at it. I mean, just looking at targets, you pointed this out. We haven't seen any. We've seen 3 targets from DeAndre Hopkins. That's got to go up. You got to get Christian Kirk involved even more. So just get it going. Just start lightening up with the pass game here in the second half. How weird though? How weird was the Rondell Moore with the penalty flag hitting the ball? I mean, if the Cardinals don't recover it, what the hell do they do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's the word. They lucked out. That was the one luck out spot in the first half. I mean, this is what, unfortunately, and this is not piling on. This is not me, having pent up aggression over a week or so where I wouldn't talk about Cliff. Like, this is what the offense looks like without Kyler Murray running back and forth behind the line of scrimmage, because he hasn't done that once yet, and they haven't had any big plays down the field. I mean, that's the one absence from the offense that we saw in the first 2 weeks that we haven't seen today. And look at where we are. Look at what we're looking at here. So, Bo, let me ask you, is this feed DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green on the outside to open up things in the middle? Is this where the gadget stuff gets the Cardinals in trouble? Like, what do you see happening in the second half? Because Vance Joseph couldn't call much more of a perfect first half defensively.
Right. And it just came down to, you can play as well as you can, but these are NFL offenses, and they're going to score at least some. And your offense had several opportunities to distance themselves from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, the Arizona Cardinals should have been easily up 14-17-0 before the Jacksonville Jaguars got on the board. But I'll take half of what you said. I don't think that they need to get AJ Green involved. He can be out there running routes, but I saw there was a good ball from Kyler Murray that AJ Green couldn't pull down. Like, now your stars just need to step up and win this game. You're trailing at Jacksonville at halftime. It's time for Kyler Murray to go out there and make plays with DeAndre Hopkins. You're right as far as the run game. You go with the hot hand. I don't know if James Conner just under 4 yards per carry, but he looks better than Chase Edmonds running the ball right now. Just get it going. Whoever's going to go out there and make plays, that's how you just got to sneak out of here now with a win. This it's so important because of what's coming up. You got the Rams next week. You got the Niners after that. This is an opportunity that's going to be completely missed. If you can't let teams like Jacksonville, I mean, the fact that they potentially could have gone in 7-7, that was still with them lingering around. That's how teams pull off upsets. It's just hanging around. You can't let that happen.
Right. Week one, interception, first drive, Cardinals. Week 2, pick 6. Hopefully week 3 will be some sort of points, because, if they don't start putting up points, Jacksonville is going to win this game. And again, yes, there is another second half. There is another half of football. And this has happened to really good teams where you go down in the first half, you don't play great, but then you trust your coach to make adjustments and you go put up more points in the second half. We'll see if Cliff Kingsbury has that in him. Vance Joseph doesn't need to really make any adjustments, it seems. The defense just got tired towards the second part of the first half.
Well, I would like to see them become even more opportunistic.
A little bit more pass rush.
Yeah, the pass rush. It was great to see J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons, and Chandler Jones just bearing down on a guy like Trevor Lawrence. You want to see more of that, just because that you do that enough, he's going to make another mistake. They're going to have to figure it out. Like, they're just going to have to figure it out as far as, you can't him get in a rhythm, because you start letting these guys, you start letting Urban Meyer believe and Trevor Lawrence believe that they actually do belong on this level after 2 brutal games. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be the team that lets that happen. So,
do the Cardinals win?
Yeah, I mean, because if they go down and score because they missed the point after, I mean, they have a chance to go up immediately, and then your defense can come out and make a play on their first opportunity in the second half. You have a chance, yeah, but man, you couldn't draw up a more brutal end to this first half. And you're right. I mean, I see people crushing, why go for the 68-yarder? People are excited. I'm sure that the organization was excited to see Prater come out. He had a 62-yarder. And like, okay, let's see it. But that's why you don't pull that. That now okay?
It's all big guys on the field.
Yeah, don't
speed.
Don't do it again. You just learn the really harsh lesson right there. And you learn a harsh lesson as far as the offense performance. You got to figure it out. You got to do it in the second half. So
Kyler looked like he was in a box.
It was very it was, like I said, it was real subdued. It was real quiet. You're like, okay, it's not terrible. You're not seeing the ball hit the turf. You're not seeing mistakes, but it's also you're not scoring. And I don't know. The offense has to figure it out, and they have to do it where they're performing and scoring points. We'll see. Cardinals get the ball to start the second half. We're going to have our podcast quickly after the end of this game. It's Bo, it's Alex. Make sure you're following along at Lockdown AZ Cards, at Clancy's Corner, and at BLBRACK. Guys, enjoy the second half. Hopefully the Cardinals come back, win this thing. I think they can do it. Jacksonville's a bad team, but you never know. If the play calling remains stagnant, it could be a disaster. Let's hope we're not talking about that, but we'll break it down.